Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It is Tuesday. We have 3 NBA games to discuss tonight. Let's go ahead and get started. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out all the socials down in the description. Prize Picks, you can use my code PROCESS for deposit match. Up to $100, I'll have a Prize Picks video out probably right after this, and I might have an MLB video out this afternoon as well. About to have a lot more free time in about a week or so as soon as I graduate. Let's go ahead and get started with the point guard picks today. We have Ja Morant checking in at $9,900. He has been getting you a lot of peripherals the last few games. The scoring has not been there, but they still ended up, they lost last game by 1, but Ja Morant only shot 4 of 13. Before that, shot 5 of 18, so he's 9 for his last 31. If I did that math correctly, still giving you a lot of assisting and rebounding the ball at a great clip. You expect him to score more than 11 and 16 points, so I think he's still a good option today as a pay-up. Trey Young, 93. I mean, he finished with like 9 points scored. 3 threes was all that he could muster up last game. No, only one free throw attempt, missed it as well. The Heat are not playing around with Trey Young. They are not going to let Trey Young beat them. So if you want to keep playing Trey Young, that is fine. I haven't been doing it this series, and I don't think I want to start now. I'd much rather get to Chris Paul at home here. Coming off of a dreadful game, shooting the ball, 2 of 8, only 4 points scored. Back at home in Phoenix, I actually think the Pelicans can take this one as well, or at least I'll take the money with their points. That's plus 6.5 here. For me, the Pelicans have the best 2 players in the series right now. Not having Devin Booker there, I think McCullum and Ingram are better than Paul and Ayton at this point. And until we see otherwise with some of these other guys stepping up, we haven't seen Cam Johnson do great. We haven't seen like Bridges step up and hit some shots yet. So I think this one's going to be another close game. It's going to be the best one for me to target. This game and the Memphis game is going to be the 2 good ones to target. And the Miami looks good just because we have some value without Kyle Lowry. But in terms of being the higher scoring games here, definitely these 2 look better. But Chris Paul is going to be one of my favorite guys to pay up for just because don't expect him to have another dud. I like McCullum at 85, a pretty good price tag on CJ. He's taken 20-plus shots throughout the series. Got some less minutes last game with that win that they had a blowout victory. We won by 15, but normally he's playing 40-plus minutes in the series. He had a down game with assist as well, but he has been contributing with the peripherals, averaging, besides the last game, he was averaging 50 fantasy points throughout the series, so got to go back to CJ McCollum. Then we have some good value here. Tyler Hero struggled badly last game. He had the other guys step up, but he still looks like a good play without Kyle Lowry. But I would like the other guys a little bit more. You can also go to Patrick Beverley at 56, decent price tag on D'Angelo Russell. Then we saw Oladipo be in the rotation, but I have more confidence in Gabe Vincent, who was the starter at $4,100. Now he is. Played 27 minutes, hit some shots for them, 3 threes. He has started in the past this year, and he has typically been a decent producer, pretty good shooter, and the price tag is really nice. Moving on to shooting guard. Pay up is definitely going to be McCullum and Brandon Ingram for me. Both guys look great if you can get to both of them. Other options would be going down to like Russell at 7K. Desmond Bane's been hitting a lot of threes, 15 threes the last 2 games. If you think that can continue, he's at a $6,800 price tag. It did go up. You're getting a better price on Dillon Brooks, but he's definitely not the scorer and the shooter, at least, that Desmond Bane can be, even though he has hit some threes recently. The 58 might be a little bit of a better value than the 68. Just depends on how hot Desmond Bane gets from distance. And then I'm looking at some value from Miami as well. Put in Gabe Vincent, but I also think you can go Max Strus as a guy that's going to be playing heavy minutes. He played 36. They don't seem to give Duncan very many minutes after that first game. He's just not getting a lot of minutes. That first game he put up 23, but they just gave him a ton of money, and he's getting outplayed by like Gabe Vincent and Strus. So bad times for Duncan Robinson. At least he got the bag. Moving on to small forward, Jimmy Butler's been taking over this series. We have seen Bam Adebayo struggle with the fantasy scores for most of the series, whereas Butler's been playing pretty good ball. 66 fantasy points last game, 51, 64 the game before that. Just been kind of doing whatever he wants. They don't really have anybody on the Hawks that can slow him down. So at $9,200, I think he looks like a really strong option if you're not looking to get to some of these other guys in the later games. If you want to pay up for Jimmy Butler, that's fine. But I definitely want to get to pieces of Miami, so that's going to be Strus and Gabe Vincent to at least to get me started on DraftKings. Other picks here would be Dillon Brooks at 58 for his value. And then I do like Cam Johnson at 48. The fact that Crowder is more expensive than Cam Johnson, I'll take Johnson. A guy that's going to play north of 30 minutes. He ended up playing 32, hit 3 threes, had a decent game. I mean, 25 is not going to kill you. Price tag went down by 100, and now they're back at home. So he's still been a very good shooter on the season, 42%. They need him to step up and have one of the bigger games like he did out in like March, like last month, when he put up like 40 points, I believe, or maybe had like 50 plus fantasy points. I do like Cam Johnson at that price, and then other options would be like going maybe down to Vanderbilt at 41. Herb Jones, 48, is playing huge minutes. And then I do like Brandon Clark as well. I will put him into the center spot. We're just getting a lot more playing time now that Steven Adams is out of the rotation. Getting you close to 30 minutes the last couple of games. He's a good defensive player with the blocks. He gets you good looks right at the basket. And he has been a better free throw shooter than Steven Adams, making about 65%. I think Adams is like 50% or so. So that leaves you with about like 65, 50 left for the last two spots here. Plugging in some Miami value, plugging in a couple of studs from that late game with Chris Paul and McCullum. And then, Memphis, I like a couple of their guys like Brandon Clark, Jaren Jackson, Dillon Brooks at their price tags. Minnesota's a little bit tougher to get to with their stars just because it's always tough to pick which one goes off. I do like the price tag on Beverly at 56, and I would probably like to get up to Towns. If I had another option, he would be behind Chris Paul and behind Jimmy Butler, but he'd be the third guy, and I think you can look to Russell here. And then Beasley had no points last game, but 38, the price tag is cheap enough to consider in tournaments. And that's about it for the DraftKings side. Let's go ahead and touch on FanDuel. All right, over here on FanDuel, starting us off with the point guard picks. Chris Paul is still very expensive at 10-3, more expensive than John Morant. Both guys look appealing to me. I think you can make a case to get to both, or at least I get to one of those two. Trey Young is down to 82. It's been warranted with the play that he has done this series. Now they're on the road in Miami. I love CJ McCollum's price, like the price tag on Russell at 73. But I'll take one of the shots on one of the value picks to get us started at the point guard position. Gabe Vincent, 47, potentially gets you 30 minutes or so. Over at shooting guard, I'll plug in CJ McCollum. I think he's going to have a much better shooting game than he did last game. Didn't even need him to shoot the ball very well, and they still won by 15 points. Other options would be going down to Tyler Hero at only 55. Dillon Brooks at 52 is another good option. And then Max Strus for sure at 44 to get you another Miami Heat value pick that gives you upside. And then Oladipo down to 39, another guy that gives you upside there. Over at small forward, Butler's almost 11K. That's going to be kind of tough for me to get to. I'd rather get to Brandon Ingram for 1,200 less. I'd rather go down to some of these other value picks that we can consider, like Dillon Brooks at 52. Go down a little bit more to that. You can go with like Herter's 48. Gallo's only 41. The Hawks are tough to project now that Capella's back and they got all these guys, the minutes, besides like Trey Young and some of these other starters. Just basically whoever has a hot hand, I'd say, will get the minutes. And then going up a bit, you can definitely get to Edwards at only $8,000. But I like the price tag a lot on Dillon Brooks. Over at power forward, Cat is pretty nicely priced at 94. Bam is nicely priced at 71, but he's been struggling. I mean, he had a decent game last game, but still not really scoring the ball. He kind of got there with the blocks and steals, I believe. I like Clark at 59. Guy that plays about 30 minutes, gets you rebounds, points at the basket, gives you upside for blocks and steals. And then you have Collins is down to 48, so that would be one to maybe take a shot on, or go up a little bit to Herb Jones. I do like Cam Johnson, get to one of Cam Johnson or Crowder here, and that's kind of it. And then last but not least at center, you can make a case to put like Clark in at center if you wanted to, or go with like Jaren Jackson. Capella struggled, but he's only 5K. He did play 20 minutes. We'll see how much minutes he gets upgraded, but they still have Collins that they can play at center, so you're still kind of guessing there. Give me Valanciunas. He showed up last game, put up 50 plus fantasy points, and put up 50 on DraftKings, 49 on FanDuel. The second time this series he's dropped about 50. Other games, played 26 minutes, didn't have great games, but still gives you upside with a lot of rebounds, and he's kind of been outplaying Ayton this series at times, so especially on the glass, been crashing the boards there. If he's going to play like 30 plus minutes, confidence that he can at least hit value at this sort of price tag. If he plays like 25, 26, if he's in foul trouble, something like that, he's going to be kind of in a rut, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully he plays well. And that's about it for FanDuel. That's about it for the picks for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Best of luck tonight. Stay tuned for the other videos that I have coming out shortly after this one. Best of luck today, and I'll see you all next time.